Hi everyone, it's me again. Just another update on the Ben Nevis hike and how that went. I've not done an update video since I first sort of announced that I was doing it back in January. Um, I've tried to make this video like 4 or 5 times, and every time I've tried since January, I've just burst out crying. So hopefully we'll get right this time. So the hike. It was a couple of weeks ago now. I do apologise for not having an update for people sooner. I've just not really had the mental capacity to really do it. So, first of all, I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who's donated to my GoFundMe for the hike. I honestly didn't expect anyone to donate whatsoever. I was happy to just say if I get a few quid here and there, my mum might message me and send me a fiver, and someone else might, and that might be it. And if so, I'll still pay the rest, and I don't care. I'm gonna go do this. So I sent that video out, posted it, went to sleep, had a very rough night, woke up to a notification to see that someone's donated. I was like, oh my god, that's really cool. And I opened it, and we'd hit the target within one night, and I was already crying. And then within 24 hours, we doubled it. It was insane. I could not believe it whatsoever. So thank you so much to everyone who's donated. It's made a huge difference, and it's been quite emotional to see the support from everyone for me to do this. To me, this quite stupid little thing that meant so much to me, but people obviously recognised that and donated, so that was fantastic. So thank you. I'll give you a quick update on how it went, because it's probably not as straightforward as I would have liked it to have been, but there we go. So many people who watch the video you've probably done Ben Nevis. It's a big walk, it's a big hike, and it's difficult, but loads of people have done it, and I was like, cool, everyone does this, not an issue. We set off at 10:30 at night, and it started to rain immediately. And I was like, okay, we're prepared for this. I've got all these waterproofs on, so in layers and everything. It was like 0 to 2 degrees on the mountain. Cool, it's freezing cold, it's raining, it's fine. The rain did not stop at all, and it got worse and worse and worse. So for someone like me who's already very unfit, doing something which is practically zero plateau of a hike, it's just up and up and up. There's a bit of a ease around where it gets to the lake in the middle, and it's up and up and up and up and up. With like my poles, it's not easy terrain. It's like very rocky, so I was trying to plant every single foot in every single place. I slipped so many times. The weather was brutal. It felt like something out of Vietnam. It was absolutely soul-breakingly difficult for me, especially. But everyone was struggling. Like everyone. It was just torture for hours and hours and hours. No visibility, just darkness with only like your head torches to see. Just powering through. I hurt my ankle so bad. I was walking like the front of my left foot with the heel of my right foot, trying to make up for it. I got a huge bruise under my ribs. Twisted my ankle, hit my head when I fell once or twice. It wasn't fun. I absolutely hated it. After about halfway through, I think the communication between some of the leaders taking us up there. So a bit of background, there's about 300 people who went for this Macmillan cancer hike. And the way it was going to work is we were going to go off in 3 groups. So there was a slow group, a medium pace group, and then a quick group. And they would all sort of set off within half an hour intervals to hopefully reach the top at around the same time. So I was in the middle group, and when we got to the halfway point, you would then be grouped with people who were where you were in the walk. So then these people walk at the same speed, so they sit together, and it's more safe that way. And we'd all have a few sort of safety guides there with us per group to make it nice and safe. And I feel like the communication was just terrible, and it wasn't really their fault. It was a lot of people and the stressful conditions, and it just sort of broke apart. People were joining other groups, people got left behind, people didn't know where they were, people didn't know who they were with, who they weren't with, who was who, and it just, everyone started to sort of fall to pieces. The cold and the rain got to everyone even further and further and further. People were exhausted, people were peeling off, going back down or trying to. And then people were getting very shouty and screaming. I didn't realise why. But then it turns out we were being told that because of the conditions on the mountain, we wouldn't all be making it to the top. So the plan was to reach the top for sunrise. That was the plan. And we said that only the quickest of our group would really be going, because at 4 o'clock, that was the cut-off. If you're not at the sun by 4 o'clock, you have to turn around. So everyone was quite annoyed. Some people had driven 900 miles to be there for this, and raised a lot of money for this, and been told no, they couldn't turn around now. So people were getting very agitated and aggressive, and these sort of safety guy, I forgot the name is, but the people walking with us, they were on edge as well, because they got people shouting at them and stuff. So I was already I was in pain, I was cold, I was wet, I was wanting to go, and I was like, I don't care, I'm here climbing with my little brother in spirit, and I'm going to get to the top regardless of what it takes. And looking back with how the conditions were, they should have called it off. 100% they should have called it off. I get they didn't, probably because you had 300 people there who would have gone up anyway without you if you said no. And in that case, there could have been probably more dangerous situations going on. So I understand why they kind of had to help people get to the top, because no one was going to stop them. Some people there were just as driven as I was, if not more so, and they were going. So it pushed on and on and on and on. I should have turned back so many times. Looking back, I was an idiot to keep going. It was not safe. I was not in a good place, and it was not fun. But I kept going. And eventually, we reach the summit, and I make it, and I'm so relieved. In pain, but there was no sunrise. The visibility was nothing. It was just in a cloud, in like a field of stone with some cairns, and there was the summit point. Even at the summit, I tried to get a photo, but because of the conditions of the mountain, it was the wet and the cold, my battery went from being like 60% to 19% to 0% in seconds. It just depleted. So I didn't even get a photo of the summit, which I was upset about. But they keep a little pebble though. I probably shouldn't take a pebble. It's probably not allowed, but I did anyway. And that was that. And we got there like 5 minutes to 4. People behind us who probably got turned around. There was people who'd taken shortcuts to get there, to get there for it, and caused some very unsafe conditions. I was sent something to say that apparently less than 10% of the people who went on the mountain managed to get to the top. So I was very lucky to be one of the ones who did. Just through sheer stupid determination. But I didn't feel great about it. I was just, the conditions it felt like I just fought so hard for it, and that was, in my head I had this idea of this beautiful moment I didn't have. I was miserable and just not happy. And then the walk back starts, and then the sun's sort of coming up now, and the fog looks lighter. That's the only kind of sunrise we've really got. And I'm going down this winding trail down this mountain. It's like another 4 or 5 hours down. And I slip again, and I just want to scream. I just absolutely want to cry and scream. I've had enough. This has just broken me. The weather has destroyed every inch of my body. And as I sort of get up, I try to get up, I realise I'm just beneath the cloud line, and in front of me is the Grampian Mountains of the Highlands, and it's the most beautiful view I've seen in my entire life. it was the most moved I've ever been by any scenery. And I started ugly crying, absolutely booing, just horrendously. And without sounding too sort of soppy, that was the first time I really felt like my little brother was like stood beside me for the first time in, like 9 years. So it was very, very emotional. But then after that moment, I was like, I just want to go home to bed. That's it. So yeah, and then climbed down the mountain, and my great auntie Val lives in Fort William, so she's just around the corner. So my mum picks me up, and she's very, very. She looks at me, and she can tell that no one coming down the mountain was happy. Everyone looked miserable, like there'd been a war. And we're eventually going to drive to go say hi to her. She's dead lovely. I just wanted to go home. So I sort of like slept in the car while her mum popped in to see her. Because I was like, I just can't function as a human right now. And lo and behold, Annabelle comes out to the car with a bottle of whiskey for me. So that was fantastic. But yeah, end of the story. We did it. And Danny was there all the way to the top. So again, huge thank you to everyone. I apologise if this is a long rambly video. But yeah, that's what happened. So I want to give a personal thank you to the following people. So Martin Robinson, Sarah McFerrin, Becky Tatham, Alex Fitzhenry, Emily Ashford, Sean McRae, Dina Fraser, Karen Ongill, Caitlin Beavers, Emma Sharp, Melanie Fox, Gemma Lumley, Addie Blackburn, Eben Bentley, Ellie Dixon, Jack Wright, Alex Monroe, Glenn Oldfield, Kelly Whiting, Will Robinson, Harry Sorden, Joey Domain, Nikki Smith, Katie Saxton, Rebecca Horner, Natalie Hoggard, Beth McCart, we're getting there, Andy Hartley, Rosie Sanger, Caitlin Johnson, Joanne Whitaker, Michelle Oldfield, Zoe Smith, Linda McCulloch, Laura Tabbera, Lisa Niven, Peter Setters, Hannah Powell, Craig Foster, Naomi Lapite, I do apologise if I'm getting some of these names wrong, Susie Dillier, Nick Rowe, Samantha Croft, Kim Oldfield, Will Derry, Emma Coupland, Morgan Phillips, Kevin Hutchinson, Emma Cawthorne, Alison Wilkinson, Miley Stevens, Ellie Chapman, Rowena Coleman, Rebecca Hodgson, Sarah Swanson, Shannon Nolte, Andy Shooter, Kay Wright, Hannah Lewington, Rachel Smith, Steve Hanley, Ruth Oldnall, Sarah Walton, Susan Hebblethwaite, Kelly Stone, Emma Warner, Kerry Shipley, and Angela Mueller. That's 74 donations, and I expected nothing. In the end, we raised £1,260, and all I asked for was 210. Thank you to everyone. A thumbs up if you've managed to get to the end of this video. But yeah, I can't say thank you enough. It's been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. And yeah, it sucked. It sucked so bad. But we did it. So yeah, thank you. And until next time.